Let's roll. This is Countercharge, your podcast for ranks, flanks, and kings of war. Join your hosts as they delve into the world of Panithor and bring you worldwide coverage of all things Kings of War.
Welcome to Countercharge. I'm Ruffin Up. In today's newish player chat, we catch up with Derek Mihm. Derek is from the greater Minneapolis, Minnesota area where we hosted this year's U.S. Masters event, and we were delighted to have him join us for the great Best of the Rest event. Along the way, we also pick up Chris Bellows from Omaha, Nebraska, and Aaron Richardson from St. Louis, Missouri. It was a great conversation with these guys, and stay tuned as you may hear more from these gentlemen in the future. You've not been on before.
I have not been on. I'm Derek Mihm. I'm from here in Minnesota. I'm
Yeah.
in Cottage Grove, which is very close to where this tournament is being held, in Mendota Heights. Been listening to Countercharge since I got back into the hobby in like 2022, 2023.
Like just post-COVID kind of thing?
Just post-COVID, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What were you doing before? Were you playing Warhammer? What games were you playing on the table?
Like a lot of people who you've had on, I was a Warhammer Fantasy Battles player casually in high school and left the hobby for most of my 20s and early 30s. Then COVID happened, and people had a lot of hobby time, so I bought a 3D printer, and I started 3D printing, and it's an FDM printer. And I want to say to Matt Croger that FDM printing produces perfectly acceptable minis. You just got to stick with it.
Well, I think, too, if you're a TO or somebody, terrain, they're certainly more robust.
Yeah.
They're less fragile than the resin stuff.
Yeah, I mean, these two tables, so this desert table you can see from where we are sitting, and the city table that's just past that, where Jeff Shilkin is picking up dice, those are both mine. All the terrain on that is FDM printed from 2022 on. So, yeah.
And if you work at it, you can get, the nozzle size down. You can. There's some tricks you can play.
There are.
What kind of printer are you running?
I am now on whatever the Bamboo X1C knockoff is called. From Creality. K1 Max, I think, is what I got. The new generation are incredible. They require very little calibration.
It's funny because I have one at work, and I have an older Prusa, and it's like, it's fine, but it's 5 years old at this point, and it's not as... It's like now you just hit the button, and it does everything.
Yeah.
It levels the bed,
The difference is stark. I have an Ender 5 from the first thing.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't get used anymore. It's so much different.
My store owner has the latest and greatest Bamboo, multicolor, and they have these new 40K files that the terrain folds up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's called, but it prints that way. So he prints it multiple colors. It literally comes off the printer.
Ready to go.
And already snapped together, and all the hinges are in place. And it's like... Okay, this is like next level stuff, right? So
yeah, it really. I have purchased some of those files for sci-fi.
Yeah,
I just haven't gotten around to printing them.
Yeah, come on in. So, what's some of your favorite? Are you mostly doing terrain, or are you doing a lot of models? What do you?
All my armies are FDM. So I have elves, I have forces of nature, I have forces of the abyss, I have orcs, I have goblins, I have Northern Alliance, which is actually all from the vault. With like arm swaps and body swaps from the Vanguard dwarves to do the dwarf regiments. The Frostfangs are on there. The Ice Elementals are on there. The Snow Trolls are. I mean, like you can get an entire force if you're really creative. You can turn the crew from the Kraken, the Leviathan's Bane. Is that what the Trident Realm?
Mm-hmm. So the War Engine.
Yeah, one of them is standing and has a spear, and you can slap on the Ice Naiad upgrades. Clive Stone and Ronnie are going to be pissed when they hear me saying, like,
no, I think it's awesome. You can stretch a buck.
Ice Naiads. If you're just willing to do a little bit of work on the 3D modeling part.
Yeah. What other, obviously Mantic's got a ton of cool SCLs. What other ranges are you a fan of outside of Mantic?
I will shill for this guy. I believe he's Hungarian. He goes by Ilhadio. You can find him on My Mini Factory. He also has a Patreon. The great thing about him is that if you subscribe to his Patreon, you get everything he's ever done, and he has done ranges. He was primarily a Kings of War player, and he's done ranges for Varangur, High Elves. I mean, they were Twilight Kin before Twilight Kin switched, I think, to being more Void-focused, and they were Abyssal-focused. He had Order of the Green Lady, which doesn't matter anymore, but they're great knights. He's got all the Forces of Nature covered. He just finished doing enough to cover most of Forces of the Abyss. He's done Undead. Like, he's done everything. And I want to say it's like $5 a month.
And for $5, you get the
everything.
Yeah,
everything,
and so
all the way back.
I mean, I'm gonna have to check that out.
You should. He's great.
And we are joined by Chris Bellows out of your Omaha still, right?
I'm Omaha.
I always have to ask because people have been moving on me lately. So, Chris, what have you been up to?
I haven't done any hobby recently.
Well, you still have the pretty Forces of Nature, Forces of the Abyss army that you had at Omaha Masters like 2 years ago.
Slightly updated. I got more work of it done.
Nice,
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah, I got a Lord of Lies that has just been sitting on the shelf right now.
What do you think about the new Forces of the Abyss list?
I like it. I'm jealous I can't do regen +4 right now, but
Yeah, I just like that they have a theme now, which is like, you want to do what you want to do, we're not going to let you do that. So you want to cast a command on this unit, you can't. We're going to take your command off. You're going to charge our unit? Cool, go ahead. You're going to use our stats against us.
Yeah.
So how do you like defend? How do you like,
I think it's gonna.
melee 5?
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna fit well. I'm currently running 4 lower abyssal regiments, so it's gonna be.
And they got 2 new spells. I mean, it's very, very colorful.
The Dark Pit is super cool.
So Derek, what's your thoughts on the new Fracture book?
I think it's great. I mean, I sometimes use my orcs as ogres, so of the 4, the only one that I don't actively play is Basilia.
And nobody with any good conscience plays Basileia. They're so good, they're bad.
I think they seem interesting. I know Donnie from
Donnie Croce but he's in last place. So maybe that's not an indictment on Donnie. It might be an indictment on leaning too heavily into the Basilean.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe. I don't know. I love Donnie. Everywhere he goes, he's always rocking the same style display board with the different arm, goblins or Basilean.
I feel like Basilean lost some of their flavor from 3.5 to now.
Yeah.
Like the ability to just, vicious when your angels and human get in? Yeah. Or is it elite? I don't remember.
But there were some synergies there that they don't have anymore.
Yeah.
Now, the new list, I was hoping that they would be bringing back some of this, like the Sisterhood chariots, which they didn't bring back. So, I don't know. They also didn't, they're like the one army in the book that didn't get a lot of love model-wise. The Dragon's cool.
Dragon's great.
And some of the characters are cool, but now I would have loved to see some plastic Alohi.
Somebody pointed out that the dragon actually, that's not the first time we've seen the dragon. One of the arms changed slightly, but there was a terrain crate.
Some people are saying that it's the original dragon that they used in maybe Dungeon Saga, but a board game, and then it was also in Terrain Crate. I don't think that's that dragon, because that dragon was a PVC dragon that was real derpy, and that does not look like the same dragon. So I will have to go over and confirm with Manta Games today and say, Kyle, is this dragon the derpy green dragon that we bought like 15 years ago? I don't think it is, but I hope not.
Yeah.
Because if it's just that body again,
I don't know, the like pectoral and abdominal muscle.
He's
shit like armor plates on the new dragon.
He looks-
even if it is the old body.
yeah, well, that's true too, right? Yeah. Yeah,
too buff.
it looks great. I love it. I love the pose. It's very he's got the tactical rock where he's standing on the, he's getting ready to crush somebody. The thing is with the head turn. Now I'm gonna have to figure out, well, where does it go on the base? So which way is he facing? That's always a difficulty with Kings of War, but
Yeah.
You can always mark the base.
you can always mark the base. What other observations from the new Fracture book?
I think all of the armies that got touched are great. I actually have one complaint about Forces of Nature, which is that if you're going in the herd direction, Longhorns were core, right? And they are core right now. They're, I guess, after post-fracture, they're not.
And the Grimbrocks are special?
They're your specialist.
Right.
And there's no way to move them up. So people who just reconfigured their herd lists will potentially have to reconfigure them because now they have to have tribal warriors of one variety or the other. I guess there's 3 varieties. There's spears, warriors.
Yeah.
What do they have? Javelins? Pipe? Slings. They have slings. So that's a little annoying. But I generally think that it's a good thing to have something that's forcing you to do a hobby project. It's good to keep those skills, in play.
I appreciate the full overhauls that some armies get, but I also appreciate the things where we're not giving you a full overhaul. We're going to give you a couple new units, maybe some new models for those new units, and so you don't feel compelled to I need to make a whole new army. I can just add, and you do this all the time. I'm adding a few things to this existing. Because how big is your Abyssal army now?
Honestly, about 6,000.
Yeah, it's big, and every time I see it, there's like this has changed, that's changed. So Derek, how did you get into Kings of War? I mean, you mentioned it coming like 2022, coming off of COVID, you're getting back and fantasy's dead. Let's maybe move. Was it the local guys or?
No, I didn't connect with them until like last summer.
Yeah.
But I had played Kings of War. I'd played the first, when the sheet came out that Alessio put out, the first sheet.
The beta rules?
I played the
from
beta rules.
2010?
I backed one or both Kickstarters. I don't remember how that
Well,
went.
they both had Kickstarters, but the second one was the big one. It had, armies and stuff, right? It had a bunch of armies. And that's where, like, the plastic salamanders came from. And yeah.
So I backed that. And I got orcs, and I split it with my brother-in-law. He got undead. And then but it just, it drops off. You got stuff going on in your life at that point.
We all get older and new things change and
first jobs, stuff like that. So got back into it. Honestly, I got back into it because of the printer. I was like, I wonder if I could make miniatures with this Ender 5. And you can. They don't look awesome. But if you work at it, they can look okay. And if you get one of the new printers, they can look great.
I mean,
they don't photograph well.
They don't photograph well?
But they look great. So, could you tell?
No.
I just
because you guys just played.
We just played.
Oh, this is great. This was good timing.
Yeah.
It's good timing. Remind us, I mean, you're from Omaha, so that's a legendary area for Kings of War. Who got you into Kings of War?
Honestly, I got into it myself. I was looking for a fantasy game. I was playing Star Wars Legion, and I started getting priced out. And so I just started looking, and right around COVID time, I played my first Bug Eater. I was there is honestly when I
think we met there.
Yeah. That was kind of like my first couple games, so.
And then you were at Masters in Omaha for Best of the Rest. What other events have you traveled to?
I haven't traveled. This is my first travel. Actually.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah. I'm glad. And Derek, is this your first? Because you've got young kids, right? So
I do. I do the local tournaments. Jason Burr.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I did his one day. That was my first one.
Is it Battle and Beers? Boards and Battles?
Beers or Beers and Battles?
Is it
one of the two?
Boars and?
You just walked past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I did Renegade, which Kyle and Connor, the other
it's Minneapolis, but it's a suburb, right?
Yeah, western suburb.
Got it.
It's actually like
great event though. It sounds like.
Yeah, it was great. I did Northwoods, which is in Wisconsin. It's in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. It's actually.
I love that though.
It's right next to the Wisconsin Dells, which is a water park.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to drive my family up there, and they can go do that.
It's in the winter.
Oh, okay, well that won't work then. Sorry.
No. They have indoor water parks, but you're not going to want to risk the travel. I did dump my family in the Wisconsin Dells and went to the tournament, so that was fine. That was good. I wanted to go to Adepticon, didn't make it.
Adepticon's great. It is really good, but there's a lot of great stuff in the and the problem with Adepticon is that it is kind of a pricey event, both from time and money, right? Because it's if you're going to go to Adepticon, you probably want to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
It can add up, and it's a lot of brownie points you got to build up with the family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially with little kids. That's been my problem. I haven't been able to travel. My youngest is 2, so we're just getting to the stage where I can kind of start branching out.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got to run home and put the kids to bed.
Tonight?
I mean, I did last night. I did.
Are you staying home and then coming back every day? Or in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes it a little bit more cost effective.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 minutes. There's no reason not to. I mean, other than the freedom to not have to go home. I'm getting a hotel room. Don't expect to see me. Might be a strategy that I employ the next time. We'll see.
This is a unique opportunity. You guys just played. This is round 4 in Best of the Rest. Chris set it up. How has your weekend been going on the table?
Actually, really good. 3-1 right now. So yeah, we just played. We've been playing Forces of the Abyss, and a lot of people are saying they're garbage right now, and I
don't think they're garbage. They're going to be better in the new version. I mean, there's some really cool, Lord of Lies in particular is interesting. 350 points is a pretty big tax, but just to be able to shut down commands, I don't know. I like it.
I've got a theory list working out with them, so we'll see.
Are we going to see a Lord of Lies on the table? Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably will.
And how's your weekend been going, Derek?
2-1-1. So, I mean, it's going okay. My wins have been narrow.
And what army are you playing?
Elves. Yeah.
Are you an elf guy at heart?
I was. High elves were my fantasy.
Okay. But when I hear arrogance, I think of elves, right?
Right.
But dwarves are also pretty arrogant. And Ronnie does love dwarves. Have you guys been trying to pump Kyle? Or let me give you a tip of what's in the book?
No comment.
Yeah, good.
But he was one of my opponents. You can take from that what you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun that they send their people out into the world. Ronnie was at Lone Wolf, and having Kyle here has been a lot of fun. So your weekend's been going two. Would you say 2 wins?
2-1 and 1. Yeah, I tied Tyler Shilkin, Jeff's.
Yeah, and Tyler's been doing pretty well. I think he's 3 wins and a draw. Maybe.
Yep. I think he's my next opponent.
Now you seem like a very nice person, but I'm just gonna say channel your inner Rob and just talk so much. He does like to talk crap. His dad. It's so funny because his dad doesn't. Right? His dad is like clean player, very eloquent, very professional, and his son is just like rah.
So,
and
funny story is his dad was my second game ever, and he was when he was playing.
Is this at Bug Eater? Where was this at? Bug Eater?
Yeah, this is a Bug Eater.
Oh my gosh.
He was playing that Golem Surge list. Yeah, I learned so much.
Yeah, I bet. He's a great player.
Handed to me, but yeah, I learned.
He's a great player, and that's why he's on the top table against Sean Troy today.
Yeah.
So 2 Minnesota guys. Go figure.
He's been, I want to say 9 out of like 15 or 16 4th edition games for me, and it is rough.
But you know what? That's how you learn.
Yeah.
You know, what do they say? Iron sharpens iron. I mean, I'm sure after the game he can go, okay, here's the things I would have done differently to change things up, and you over time you absorb it.
I'm really curious to listen back to this episode and see what people's commentary who have played him or watched his list operate, what their reaction to it is, because it's like demoralizing the way the javelins with stealthy are just, because you can't shoot them back, and the weakness of these short range shooting units is that you should be able to outshoot them.
Yeah.
But they're stealthy. He's generally got them in cover. Like, it's just really difficult to engage with them.
Yeah, he drew in his last game.
Did he?
Jeff, yeah. There were 6 draws in the Masters in the last round. Both top tables drew. So they had a winner in 3 and 4. Those guys jumped up. And so now everybody's back in the mix. So they've kept the pack. They pulled the leaders in a little bit.
Yeah,
so
Best of the Rest has panned out pretty well. There's no undefeated in Best of the Rest right now. We're all either 3-1 or 3-0-1.
Yeah. You guys are clobbering each other. I love it. It's just like, yeah. Any standout games for you, Derek? Besides, obviously, the one with Chris.
So the game that I played against Tyler last night, if we had gone to 7, I feel like I probably could have handily won it. He left his characters out exposed, and I wiped Grok, 2 sergeants, and
I love it.
Turns 2 and 3.
I mean, you're feeding, the lamentations of the women, feeding on the tears of the children.
Yeah. I mean, and there was so little inspiring left on the table. That I wish that we could have gone to a 7 there. My first game against Eric Greiner, he would have destroyed me if he had more clock.
Oh, did he clock out?
He clocked out.
What are your thoughts on the 65-minute round times?
It's a little tight if you're a mixed force. Like if you have shooting that you have to deal with. Like you were pretty low on clock there.
Yeah.
You saved clock. Chris saved clock at the last round.
I have to balance regen and all that. So
yeah. It's a lot of dice. I mean, with the commands and thinking about what you're going to do with commands, it is an extra step. So yeah, you have fewer. Well, actually, I would say my experience has been that there's maybe +1 drop in 4th versus what I would have played in 3rd. So there's more units on the table generally.
Points for points, there's more drops at that whatever points level you're playing at, right? So 100%.
So it feels tight. I mean, I've gotten down to 1 minute, I think, in every game.
And what are your thoughts on the clock, Chris? I know you're a veteran at this point, right?
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind it because the 65 minutes clock is pretty. His game was the only one that really came close. Other than that, I usually have 10 minutes left at the end. So.
And how are your games been yesterday, today?
Very close. The only one that hurt me was against Caleb. I failed to drop a horde. I got him up to 19 and rolled a 3 instead of a 4. So, and then
it happens.
And then from there, he just kind of rolled me. So I got that glass hammer once it doesn't go.
And I have to assume you pounded Kyle Presolinsky into the ground.
It was bad. I have a lot of
I love it.
And he has
a lot of
4 or 5 units of Yan. They don't move fast enough. I think I wiped them all with shooting except 1. And then he's got 4 or 5 troops of spear wardens, and they just couldn't do enough because he couldn't get the angles.
Yeah, our game,
Yep. Let's talk about the game you guys played. It was, what scenario was it? Control. So who, going into the game, do one of you think that you were in a good spot?
I felt he had the edge. He's got the shooting to my defense 4.
But you got the regen to stay alive, maybe, right?
As long as he doesn't focus on everything, which you spread out your shooting, and I think
a little.
Yeah.
I think it was a really bad table for shooting because there's 2 for our table. There were 2 hills blocking line of sight,
like in the middle,
in the center, and then there was a forest next to I dropped my horde of archers where there was a reasonable 90-degree arc that I could have done stuff with. But then I had like one target that was in cover, and it was Abyssal Horseman. So we got 5+ defense. I felt like I was in a bad position after deployment because you had Hellhounds. You had multiple units of Hellhounds, but you had Hellhounds and Berserkers and a Warlock on a far flank.
Yeah.
And I was trying to play a denied flank, and it just I knew I was going to lose it, and I had nothing to defend that side.
Yeah, that flank. It turn 2, I was up in your face, and then turn 3, it's like, well, I'm taking charges one way or the other.
Yeah, I needed to be able to clear the center and turn, and it was not. I realized it was not going to happen by the end of my turn 1.
The one that really hurt was turn 3. I charged you with the lower abyssals, and you devastated them and then rolled snakes.
Yep.
Right in the middle, it just hurt them.
On a 290-point horde of Palace Guard with Chant of Hate.
Yep. I ended up taking a flank and Molochs up the front.
That's rough, because they probably could have turned the center. It would have been like more even on attrition at least. And then in the last round, I got a snakes on devastated lower abyssals that would have given me at least one table quarter. It could have been different. I mean, the snake eyes are part of the game, so it is what it is.
I think it's an important part of the game.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like it. Well, you need to have a little non-deterministic part of the game, right? If it's all deterministic, well, then you're just playing chess. And so, the dice add some level of variability, right, as well.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest piece is the turn 7 turn, right? Like that's rolling for turn 7. It's like on that turn 6, are you playing for 6 or are you playing for 7? And that will decide. That you could make the wrong decision there, and you could lose the game, or you could win the game.
Yeah.
If you make the right decision. So.
Yeah, I avoided some combats because I was low on clock on purpose to ensure I had enough time for turn 7 for movements where I could still claim quarters if I needed to.
Right.
Yeah. Saving the clock was the right move. But if you had run out of clock, I still don't know if I could have moved.
You could have probably claimed the other corner that I had nothing in.
Yeah.
With your Dracons.
So how'd you guys end up in that game?
I ended up winning, I think it was 19-2 is what it came out to. Or 18-3, I don't remember out of the book.
And who do you guys play? Derek, who do you play next round?
Jacob Fetter. He's Grant's
son, yeah.
And this is his first tournament?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I love it. I love seeing new generations of players. I mean, I've been playing with Grant 20 years probably at this point. He ran a big event in Chicago called Blood in the Sun. It was like the first big event that I went, like, oh, this is a cool Warhammer Fantasy. And here we are, old men. Well, he's younger than me, but old men still playing this many years later. Who are you playing? Oh,
I don't know. I think I have Tyler. I'm guessing just based off points.
You are correct.
Yep.
So like I said, just make sure you get him off his game. He's just like, I'm gonna crush Grok, and you just
Well, I think he's on a back foot. Ogres don't do good against speed, and I outnumber him. So.
Exactly. So, looking back, you guys are relatively new in the grand scheme of things at Kings of War. But I guess 4 years for you, Derek, and maybe
about 4 or 5.
4 for you as well.
Yeah.
What would be
only one in the scene, though?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. So, but what would be your tips for someone looking at Kings of War coming from another tabletop, game? What advice would you give them?
I would, if you're going to join the tournament scene, I would stick with one army and get used to it so that you can play it quickly. With the clock, it can be really difficult to be jumping around between different kinds of forces. And I love variety, so I have a lot of armies and I play a lot of different things. But that's one. Definitely don't hesitate to get into the scene. Like, we want new players. I mean, I felt like people wanted me to join events as soon as I expressed any kind of interest. Unfortunately, you have to get on Facebook. There's no other...
If you listen to the show, you know how I feel. I'm not a fan of Facebook. And social media in general. Unfortunately, back in 2015, 2014, whenever we coalesced as a community, because we were playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles and they had a couple masters, right? And we sort of picked up the pieces during the Sundering in 2015, and it's like they went to Facebook, and it's like, But you're right. That's the only thing I use it for is Kings of War stuff.
Yeah, same.
If you guys have a brilliant idea of where we should, we have other stuff, but we just don't get the critical mass of people. So we have, there's Discords, there's, we have the Kings of War forum, which I love, but...
Discord's just taken off, too, for the Masters group.
Yeah, you know what? Interesting. I wonder... So every year we have Masters, we have something added to the pool. And last year, they added a Discord server. Mm-hmm. And they transferred that Discord server to this team. And next we'll be that team. And that, so maybe now there's a potential for us to maybe open it up beyond just Masters. Maybe this can be the United States Kings of War community Discord, right? I mean, Discord's hard too because you've got to moderate because there are, like anything in the world, you have to moderate. Unfortunately, these days with the anonymity that people have, I don't know.
I mean, there's not a ton of anonymity on Facebook. There's not as much on the Discord server for Masters. Like, people generally have their...
That's what I prefer. Like, just put your name in your thing, so I know Rob P. from Connor. Like, you just know who they are.
Yeah.
And Chris Bellows, we know who you are. You know what I mean? It just... But, yeah.
Yeah, I think my advice for new players is don't expect to come in and smash face. Just have fun.
Yeah.
It's funny, we've had a couple tales like this where James Taylor, who's playing in Masters this year, was playing best of the rest last year. And I think he would say he didn't perform very well last year, but every game he was losing, he was learning, and he's learning. And then he comes here, and I think as of yesterday, he was 1-2. But it's his first Masters, and he's only been playing for like 18 months. And so if you're willing to put in the effort to jump in the community, talk, open yourself up, talk to them, they're very friendly. And maybe I'll get you guys' take on that too, about the community versus other, like Legion or other communities you play with. But we want more players. We genuinely, and we're not a scene that typically is just going to beat the new person, right? You will lose the game when you start, but they will teach you the game. You will learn the game. We don't want to keep anybody down. We want talent to rise up. And so another good example is Sam Kula, who just started playing like maybe 2 years ago. He's on top table, or actually he's on table 2, but he's been on table 2 for the last 2 rounds, and he's a relatively new player for the Midwest. And so there's room for more people at the table. But maybe give that sense too. I wonder what your perspectives are from whatever communities you came from. Maybe start with you, Chris. I mean, Legion's a whole different thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tight-knit group too. They're also very friendly. I think that's probably my biggest draw is the friendly. Like, there's no, compared to 40K or like Age of Sigmar, there's no I'm going to smash face or anything like that. It's, very friendly. We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to be a family unit.
Yeah. You got any thoughts on that?
The only other tabletop scene that I was ever moderately competitive in was Magic: The Gathering, and that is just...
What adjective would you use for the Magic: The Gathering community?
Intense.
Okay. I was going to say toxic, but I don't think toxic's the right word. I think there's probably pockets of toxicity.
I would say uptight.
Yeah. I mean, the rules are very tight, and it's also timed, but in a way that is almost worse, because it's not an I go, you go system. But
there's interrupts and all kinds of things.
Right, and so somebody can end up taking 70% of a round time, and that causes bad feelings, and there are some amount of gotchas in the larger card pools that just like...
I'm always interested, though, when somebody finds some infinite loop.
Yeah.
All right, and you go on YouTube and they explain how this worked and why they had to fix it.
Yeah. It's just hard for them to keep track of
There's so many
all the different
cards.
card combinations.
Yeah.
And then you have the added problem in that community that a lot of the competitiveness goes to Magic Online, and Magic Online has a different set of constraints because you actually have to click things, and so you get a different meta online to the meta that is in person, and it's incredibly expensive. I mean, one great thing about Kings of War currently is that it's model agnostic. So
well, every game is model agnostic, but I think the nice thing about Mantic is they're not GW. They're not pushing like you need to use our. I mean, what they'll say is, number one, we want you to play our game. We would like you to play with our models, but if we can't, we still want you to just play our game. And they're putting it where their mouth is, right? So they're supporting STLs.
Right.
They're giving options for those armies, which we've had this discussion many times, but there's not very many companies that's of their size, right? Which is a small, a medium-sized tabletop gaming company that is putting their money where their mouth is and actually putting out STL files and still trying to make the retail distribution channel work. Yeah. I mean, there's a few companies like that are trying. I mean, GW does not do that.
No. Steamforged Games, is that who owns War Machine now?
They do, and they like when Privateer Press had it, they printed models to sell you, and I think Steamforged Games probably has models available. I would assume now.
I think they have a My Mini Factory page.
Yeah,
but I don't.
So that's good. That's a trend that needs to keep happening because at the end of the day, Ronnie said it best. It's about choice. STLs is just another way to give you your model. You're still paying for it, right? It's just you can buy the physical model, or you can buy a digital version.
And it's so cheap each month that it's easy to just let it keep.
Yeah, I'm like an early bird subscriber. I'm like, even if I currently don't even have a printer, right? I just buy it's whatever. And I've got the companion. I'm just like, all right. The thing about Ranks and Flanks is with Chris, it's like, well, at some point you have enough Abyss. Unless you're like Derek and like, I'm going to build 5 different armies. Like if you're a one kind of army kind of person, it's like, well, how many more ogres do I need?
Yeah, I technically have 2 armies. I have Undead that I want to redo.
Yeah.
But
you're waiting for the book, whatever that is.
Well, they're in a good spot. I just don't like the painting I did with them.
Are you going to strip them? Or are you going to start over? I mean, are you just going to start with new models? Yeah, I cannot ever strip a model. I'm like, nah, I'll just buy a different model and give this one away.
So I've actually been thinking taking off the models and breaking them and using them as dead bodies underneath the new Undead.
That'd be fun.
So, yeah, I have that, and I've also thought about making another army. So I have 2 printers that just sitting on the shelf right now, but I don't have the time to. Like I said, I got 3 kids running around.
Exactly. One thing I would like to get you guys' perspective on, obviously coming from other communities, gaming systems, the pace of change is different in Kings of War, right? We're not getting a new codex or an army supplement every month. We're not getting, new army updates continually. And, move to the 6-month module where you've got a book coming out and 4 armies get updated, a bunch of rules. I mean, just the way Mantic handles change compared to other people. What are the pros? What are the cons?
I think since a lot of it is they also have the website.
The companion, yeah.
It makes it easy. That's what Legion did. Their rules are free. They just put out the FAQ. Here's the FAQ every so often. But from there, yeah, it makes it easy to play and keep track of everything and keep up to date.
I think the pace is, given how much I also have young kids and given how much I'm able to play, there was I never got to play Forces of the Abyss at the end of 3.5 when they got the Nagari with the aura for 4+.
Yeah.
I never once got them on the table.
Right.
And so I think it's great. I just like when you have a busy life sometimes.
You actually would like it to slow down even further.
Yeah.
Because it used to be a little slower, right? We only had
Clash
once a year, right? And then they moved to where they update a couple armies. But I know we're at time. I appreciate you guys coming on. We'll have to catch up with you later in the afternoon when you guys vanquish your next round opponents.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
This is the last round for you guys.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
And then you're like done.
Yeah.
And then you get to watch other cool games.
That's right.
That's right.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Absolutely.
All right, best of the rest is done and dusted. We're in the middle of round 6 for U.S. Masters up here in Minneapolis, and I'm with Derek.
Aaron.
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 Yeah,
that's right.
That's right. Thank you, Key and Peele. If I ever get to meet you, we're going to have a discussion.
I love it. We talked a lot over the weekend, but I'd love to get you guys to take on 4th edition. What do you like, what you don't like, and who wants to start?
I think overall the changes are great. I think that going first, given the ability to move at the double and still pivot, especially for fast movers on the flanks, can be pretty painful to take the second turn. It feels like combat is always starting on turn 2, at least a little bit, where I feel like at the end of third, it was generally turn 3 and on. So, I mean, I think that's positive. There's a lot more decision points, which I think is positive. It can make the clock a little painful, which I think I had said earlier, but yeah. I'm done.
All right, cool. So my whole world of 3rd edition was maybe 5 months before we started playing 4th. So starting in January is really when I started playing it, and I enjoy 4th edition. I enjoy designing games on the side for fun, and I really do appreciate a lot of the game design mechanics that are here. A lot of the simplicity. I really think that the rules are very well written, actually, with a couple exceptions. But then again.
What would those exceptions be?
Okay, so some of it is just stuff that you can't get around, which is the geometry of the game. It is really hard to go ahead and write angles and explaining it in every possible permutation that exists. But I still think they've done a very, very good job. It's still, you're going to have to read it a couple times. And more importantly, and I think this is probably the sign of the game that I really enjoy, you have to experience it to really grok it. Reading it does not do it justice. You need to just sit down and play a game. I don't care if it's 1,100 points on a 4x4 or even a Champions game, a King's War Champions game. You need to go ahead and experience that to let it click in and go, oh, this game does have angles, and that is very, very different. Now I need to go reread that chapter. So overall, I really do think that the core rules are very, very good. I think the use of keywords are pretty well. The one I don't like maybe is individual. We were kind of all just gabbing about that. I just don't like individual in general. But that's a me thing. I get it. It just that's the one that doesn't feel like it is the same as some of the other rules that are out there. But yeah, all in all, rules wise, I really like 4th edition. Armies, I look forward to more books and more things.
Got any specific criticism or critique or ideas?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? I threw all my ideas in the community survey, which I'm grateful that Mantic was like, hey guys, we want to hear from you. So
and according to Manning, is like almost 500 submissions,
as well it should be,
right? So it's a good feedback, right?
Yeah. Well, and I did kind of laugh. Some of the things that were on there were like the wording was favorable towards Mantic regardless in a weird way. Like, hey, we know that you like this thing. Tell us what you like about it. And I heard some criticism about it, but I think that is to make sure that they don't screw up your army when they make changes. And I think that's what happened to some people's army. So
they're not talking about necessarily Mantic, more about you like this thing that we've given you.
Yeah, in the survey itself, it was tell us what you like about this army, and that's good because what you never want to do is mess up the thing that people like. Or if you do mess it up, you need to be able to explain why. So as far as like armies in specific, I would say before Fracture, every orc player I felt was playing Thonar, and if you didn't, you got funny looks across the street. And so the fact that they listened and they basically put out a memo that said, "Dear Thonar, suck it," then I think it was probably good. I feel bad for my orc friends, but. That's good. As other army-wise, I do think that there is, and I think we're probably seeing it here, that the more bodies on the battlefield seems to have a little bit of a boost. I mean, we've seen lots of goblins and rats.
So is it more units or is it more about unit strength?
More units equals more unit strength.
Well, but not all units are created equal, right? So
that is true.
So you got a horde of goblins, which is relatively cheap. That's going to be unit strength 4.
Yeah.
This is a horde of Palace Guard, which is going to be less.
Right.
So that's been two criticisms that have been brought up. Is that number one, unit strength may not need to be consistent across the board, but I get the counter argument that just make a horde, and maybe you give a special rule to somebody else like Palace Guard, and I don't know, and there's a way to increase the. I mean, it's semantics, right? At the end of the day,
But those armies that have incredibly cheap units now.
Especially core, right?
Especially core, incredibly cheap units. I mean, I'm going to pick on the Gabos here.
Yeah.
Because there's three. I think there's three really good armies that are doing.
Well, you can argue,
right?
On table 2, it's 2 goblin armies. Like in round 6. Yeah.
There we go. And
Travis Tim and Dustin Howard.
And who's on table 1 right now for Masters?
It's Sean Troy with Ratkin.
Okay, so there we go. Another horde.
And Keith Monarch with Salamanders.
Okay. Yay, Salamanders. I'm impressed.
Well, Salamanders is not a surprise with 4 Commandants.
Yeah.
And then the Blizzard Wizard and all the other stuff.
Yeah, so 3 out of the 4 are lots and lots of units. I bet if you looked at their list, they got a bunch of drops. More drops than almost anybody else.
Well, actually, what's funny is Travis Tim, who's got goblins, played Sam from Ohio, who was playing Horses of Nature, and he commented, he said, he has more drops than my army has unit strength.
Yes. Yeah.
What is Travis's? I know
Travis is playing goblins.
No, but how many drops did he have, and how much?
I don't know. It's like probably 40.
Yeah, it's something like.
He's got like mid 40s, maybe close to. I can look it up. But it's a crazy list.
Cheat and look. Yeah, it is probably like the Travis Tim train is a force to be reckoned with, and it is something like 27 some odd drops or something. It's something ridiculous.
considering how strong they are and how many people are playing them, I haven't actually played goblins or rats in 4th yet.
Yeah.
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 I'm surprised, though, because Sean Troy is a big proponent of rats.
Well, you got to be good at the game to be on Sean Troy's table.
Well, you're on Jeff Shilton's table.
His table at his house, not just.
Yeah. I know. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, Sean's local, plays with Jason Burr and company around here very often.
Yeah, my son Henry he started getting into a little bit of goblins, not because they're meta, but he actually won some goblins from something.
So Travis has got 28 units.
28 units, 28 drops.
And he has 42 unit strength. Yeah. So, I mean, it's 28 units. And, the crazy part about the unit strength is because, things that didn't used to have unit strength, like Warringtons, have unit strength now. So, yeah.
I actually like that.
It's just a different play style, right? Or it's a different army type of construction. So what else? The army criticism.
Yeah, the army criticism, I think the game leads into the more units you have on the battlefield, and this is kind of true for a lot of games, but I think there is an imbalance here. Those 28 drops are going to do more work than the salamanders. I think if I remember right, Travis, Tim, and Sam Kula actually tied.
They did.
So
there's a lot of ties today. For whatever reason.
Which is good. Overall, you get that many people on there. Okay, I don't care if you kill them. I've actually I'm taking board control in most of these scenarios. There's very few scenarios where that doesn't play into it. So I think the more drops it's weighted a little bit better towards most players. So if you can go ahead and just take a whole bunch of infantry, even if they're cheap. Yeah. Go for it, and the cheapest armies right now for infantry are Ratkin and Goblins.
Yeah, and just for point of comparison, the Salamander player, Keith Monarch, has got 17 drops and only 33 unit strength. So, 9 less unit strength and 11 less units?
Yeah.
Now, he's got some expensive units, right? He's got some hordes and stuff that are more... I mean, Salamanders are more expensive than Goblins.
Sure. But I mean, and a lot of the scenarios that also play into this. Kudos to the tournament organizers. I think they actually picked some really good scenarios to balance some stuff out.
Yeah. What's interesting though, there's a refrain that like only the new armies are like available to be competitive and stuff, and there may be some data to say that maybe they're easier to play or whatever, but or maybe they're more flavorful. But we've got Undead up there, like on table 3.
Yeah.
So Undead's an army. They were like, people are like, what? And then Ogres are up there too. Even though, and I actually think like somebody pointed out, you have two Goblin players on table 2. That might not be because the army is so good. It's because there's freaking 8 of them or whatever we have here. It might just be math.
I forget what was it. Forces of Nature that had like an 1/8 of the tournament.
Right, and one of them is up there.
Yeah.
One of them is up there, and one Salamander player's up there.
Yeah.
2 Goblins, Ratkin.
But you know what? Last year there was 11 different dwarf players, and I don't think a single one of them got really high.
What that tells me, and I maybe correlate, this might be just attribution error, but the reality is it's still the player that wins the game.
Yeah.
You can, regardless of what you put on the table, you still have to play it, and you got to know how to play it. The better players typically win the games. There are certainly opportunities for DICE to throw a wrench in that, but
yeah.
Do you have any other observations about 4th edition, things they could improve?
I haven't gotten to play with Fracture. I've been prepping for this, but
so was that a conscious decision? I'm not gonna like cross the streams. I'm gonna just play with the rules I know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a smart move. A lot of people have said that this weekend that they'll be looking at Fracture on Monday.
Yeah, I'll worry about it when it's time to start worrying about it. I think a lot of the things that I don't like have been dealt with. I do think Thonar's Green Rage was too strong.
So that's gone, right? Yeah.
Plague Pots was too strong. When combined with Wretches, we'll see what the Radkin changes are going to do. The Forces of Nature, the Strider Command was generally considered to be.
Yeah, it's now 5+.
5.
Same thing with Wretches. They don't have the trait to get the Plague Pots anymore.
Right.
So
a lot of that stuff, and I think it's not. I think you were just making this point that the armies that already have a book version that have a whole bunch of commands, it's not access to those commands that's necessarily making a difference. It's access to any good commands.
If you have 5 commands, the potential of getting a good one's better than if you only had 2.
Right.
Right? And so, maybe that's just a math thing again. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have been happy with Tenacity and whatever the other new...
Yeah, so the one that makes you
this weekend, I think
back up at full speed with no pivots, or the Tenacity, which is...
Reroll 1 die.
It's basically Blade of Slashing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, and just being able to do anything. There are so many turns with certain... So I'm playing Elves.
Yeah.
There are turns where everybody's already inspired that needs to be inspired. You can't shoot because you're fully engaged in combat at that point. Like, you just do nothing.
Yeah.
That's not great. I would love to have a blade of slashing in those situations.
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, I did get to look at Fracture. I have played some games of Fracture. I really liked it. I will say, I think the Ogres got a very nice buff. But here's something I do find interesting, and I think this tournament kind of has it. Pre-Fracture armies, right? The invasion armies, they're not huge sitting up there. What, a salamander?
There's a salamander.
There's a salamander, but even Adepticon.
But halflings,
Even
Zerkali,
Adepticon was rats and
Trident Realm.
Trident Realm was.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you're right. The invasion armies are not. But here's the thing that hit me one day is that the thing about invasion that's different than Fracture is it was released at the exact same time as the rule set.
Yes.
So they don't have any data. So they made they made the Zerkali list and they made the changes to the other 3 armies, irrespective of anything that was coming down for 4th edition. So Fracture, still very early. It was probably already in development, or was already in development at the time 4th edition came out.
Yep.
But it is one more step removed, and so there is some data. And Arrogance, which comes out in,
Probably December-ish, yeah.
right, and Twilightkin is in that book.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Is it?
That's what Mantic told me today.
That's awesome. Hey.
So
What else is in there? Hold on.
I'm trying to get. He was very, very slippery with what he would tell me. But yeah,
Is it a British man?
No, he wasn't a British man. He's here.
Oh, carry on.
Kyle Prezelinski.
I was.
He's designing the Twilightkin, the army, just like he did with Zerkali.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's going to do the aesthetic model and help with the lore and stuff.
They're refreshing it?
Twilightkin, yeah, they're going to be one of the armies in the new book.
Okay.
So they probably won't be the lead army, right? They'll get maybe the Basilean treatment. In the Fracture, Basilean has like 3 or 4 new models.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that'll be the same thing with Twilightkin, because I can't imagine they already have so much great plastic. I don't know why they would dump more money into it.
I think every book that comes out,
They need elves.
we
need elves.
Be some
That's what we
armies
need.
that are going to accidentally shoot up or become the new. I don't want to say the new meta, but I don't think it's the armies that are in the book. Maybe 1 out of 4. Maybe might go ahead and pop up. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting about the books, what they've shown is that there's 4 armies in the book. One of them gets the big boy treatment, like, okay, we're going to get a bunch of new models. In the first book, that was obviously Zerkali.
Yes.
Right?
Should be.
Like, one of them will get barely anything, and then a couple will get a little bit more. So I guess in this new book, obviously Nature's the big one. They got all the new hard plastic Pharaon, Centaurs, and all that stuff. And then you've got the rest of the Ogres and Forces of the Abyss basically got, I think, a character. And then Basilean got a few characters, like Nias and a few other characters. So, not to say they won't supplement that later. Now, one other thing that's interesting is, like, the first book, I would fully expect more changes. Kyle has stated, don't be surprised if Zerkali doesn't get more units.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No.
It's always like an evolution.
Well, I mean, just look at the Zerkali lore. They are coming over, they are invading, and we have seen the tip of the iceberg of this invasion army. There is more to
I love the story.
I think they've done such a good job with this overarching story, and so I expect randomly by the end of the year, maybe. I mean, I have no inside knowledge. I don't talk to Kyle.
Well, he's here. Why don't you talk to him?
You know what?
Are you intimidated by his stature and his presence?
No, you know what it is I know that he gets asked work questions all the friggin' time.
That's why they paid him to be here.
No,
they did. They paid him to be here.
They're not paying him to be here. No.
It's his job. They paid for all of his accommodation. He's here on the clock. I'm telling you.
That's why he wouldn't let me buy him dinner.
Yeah,
anyhow,
100%.
I try not to pump Kyle for info because I actually am kind of sad I didn't get to play him. But anyhow, so
I don't know if you have to play. You would have had to play better, or you had to play worse to play. Because it went 3-2, I guess.
He went 3-2.
You beat him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You trounced him, I think. I think it was. I don't think those were the words he used, but it was a.
It was a terrible matchup for him.
Yeah. Defense. A lot of defense 3 and 4, right?
Yeah. He has 4 or 5 units of Yan, just regiments, and they were all out in front. And I've got a horde of archers and a regiment of archers and a regiment of gladestalkers and a troop of gladestalkers and a blizzard. He's not making it past the midline.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm a bad person. I don't know.
No, you're not a bad person. You're from Minnesota. How can you be a bad person? You're from Minnesota.
No, he's playing elves. That's how.
Okay, fair enough. Now, if he was Keith Randall, I would agree with you. But yeah, he's a nice gentleman.
No, I absolutely agree. Actually, everybody in Best of Best was really cool.
Yeah,
that was great. I had a blast with everybody there.
So what else about 4th edition? I'm putting you on the spot after a long day of Kings of War.
That's fine. That's fine.
Kings of War. Is there anything you guys are optimistic for or hoping for in the Arrogance book or just future books? Something that you would like to see corrected, improved, expanded?
I mean, I want elves to be the poster child army, and I think they've stated that they're likely to be, or that they are, and so I'm expecting that.
Their range is very old, so I would expect it too. And it's not one of the ones that are well loved. The range.
Yeah,
I don't know how they bridge the gap between. I mean, Ronnie's made the point on. I don't know if it was on your show or one of the other podcasts, but that lots of people play elves in Kings of War, but they all play some variation of Games Workshop's elves.
Yes.
And I don't know how you bridge the gap between the Twig elves from the first product that they launched. And, or maybe it was the Undead. Was it the Undead? It doesn't matter.
So the first army they launched was the Elves.
Yeah.
And then they followed that up with the Undead and then Dwarves and Orcs.
So I feel like they have to make something that is close enough to the skinny elves, but also gets some of the people who
Here's the thing. I don't think anybody's playing the skinny elves. I mean, I shouldn't say any. There's very few people playing that army. I mean, I have that army, but I don't play it. I think the reality is they're such an old sculpt. They're the first sculpt. And they also have the unfortunate that they have the worst sculpts of anything because they have the chariot. It looks like a bathtub being pulled by 2 horses.
Yeah.
You're right. He might be going, well, we want to make sure we're not leaving them behind. But same token, he might just be like, look at what they did in League of Infamy. They have elves in that, and they don't look anything like those guys. So that might be the direction that they're going. So they have like Dracons, and they have like different poses of archers and stuff. So the thing I would worry about is, how do you stand apart from everything else that's already out there? I mean, if you're just going to make a high elf, well, then what's the point? Like,
don't.
They already have high elves, right?
Don't.
I mean, I know you can compete on price, but why bother even doing that? Do they lean into something very unique from an aesthetic standpoint?
Yeah.
I mean, think about what they just did with Herd, right? Where it's not goat centaurs.
They're Cattars.
It's Cattars, yeah.
Cattar. I think they're
You should trademark that. That's cool.
Cattar?
Cattar? Qatar? Is that a country? What is that?
No, it doesn't begin with a Q. I don't think the Cattar. I want to see them in person, but I actually really think that those are cool looking models. I know everybody's going to go, well, this guy, I'm done listening to him because of that.
No, I love it, dude. I think the Herd models are great.
I think they're really, really fun looking.
And the new Minotaur are great too. Well, Guardian Brutes, what they call them.
I actually think lean into the elves because GW is going to go ahead and probably do what they do often, and they'll call them elves with an A.
Yeah, some kind of trademark name.
Right,
yeah.
and because of that, they're going to go ahead and give them their own lore. Be the guys outside of WizKids models that has the prototypical elves. So when you think of
go ahead and compete head to head with everybody that's
just go ahead and compete.
Give me elves.
Do it better, and then if you're going to do the poster child, make them the Space Marines of them. Have them in. Here's your high elves. Here's your wood elves. Here's your chapters. Here's your whatever.
Oh
if
my!
You're going to do this,
you're going all in.
Well, here's the thing. I did read Fracture, right, or a little bit of it.
Yeah.
On the car ride up here. By the way, best thing to do is have somebody navigating who's also willing to go ahead and be your personal audiobook while reading the
and your son.
Book. Yeah. He was great. He's great. The Basilean chapter has different heraldries, different colors. I'm sitting here going, oh my goodness, this is Space Marine chapters. This is great. Now, if you release elves, be prototypical elves. Go ahead and have different colors, have different heraldries, have different whatevers, and just lean the crap into it. And by the way, and give them special powers based on which one you want to choose. Let them be the poster child and just knock it out the friggin' park. That way, you want to go ahead and have them. You want to have that shield painted up. You want to have that armor painted and make them easy to friggin'
That would be
paint.
interesting though if you made them more heavily armored, like less athletic, less dexterous, like more. I don't know. I don't know what that would look like.
Just put armor all around them. That way, I can go ahead and put all blue with some white highlights.
You just want to make them easy paint.
Make them easy to let them be your Space Marines and just run the table on.
I mean, they do have the other elves that came out with the Northern Alliance released, the Ice Skin Hunters. Mm-hmm. So they have those as well.
Right. That's fine.
So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I cannot fathom a world in which elves are not in the Arrogance book. Right? I mean, they are you look up arrogance in the book, in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of an elf.
I feel like they've said that they are going to be, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they have.
But you know what? I didn't think ogres would be in Fracture. because to me, I'm like, what are you? You guys are mercs. What are you fracturing?
Yeah.
You're not. There's no fracture here now. Basilian and the story that they have in there, which not to be spoiler alert, but they've got some. They have some Celestians who have some different opinions about things.
Oh, like
and they now
the wicked ones.
Well, it's not the wicked ones. These are the good guys.
Oh, you mean the Celestians before they were split?
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry. The shining ones.
The shining ones. Yeah,
There's two shining ones in this book. When you read the lore, they have some different opinions. This is a fracture of Basilia.
Well,
and we haven't gotten to the Abyss chapter.
That's the fracture of the Fanilian Mirror, right?
There's this.
That's on the nose though.
No. Read this lore. Like we read through all through Basileia. We started through Forces of Nature a little bit. I think I'll be read to the lovely Abyss since I'm the guy who has to drive. But I can't wait because they're doing some really cool things. And if you go back and read a little bit of Invasion, look who's talking to the Zerkali.
Yeah.
Look who's talking to the Zerkali there. And look. There's some little hints about Northern Alliance stuff. It's some really good stuff. So I didn't expect ogres to be there. There's no fracture there. They're not splitting up. They're mercenaries.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I haven't read a ton of the lore.
Yeah.
But I seem to recall that they do cover off on. I mean, I'm going back to the Space Marine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Elves of Space Marine.
Elves of Space Marine.
That's a crazy idea.
So we had Sylvankin, we had regular elves, we have Twilightkin, but they talk about other locations that have.
Yeah, in the second edition book, and even in the first edition, second edition in particular, you had like the drag. I can't remember all their names, but they have other kindreds. The Southern Kindred, which is down. The Twilightkin we're down by the cracked lands by where EOD is.
Yeah.
And then they have the Sylvankin, which is the Forest of Galahir, right? And then they have Elves, which is off on the coast. And there's a bunch of them. And it would be interesting for those ones that don't have their own faction. Because Sylvankin are gone, right? Like as a separate army, and they've kind of rolled into.
Yeah, I mean you've got
Elves.
Nimue.
Yeah, you got Nimue. Is there any other Sylvankin?
You can. I think you can get a lot of the. You still have air elementals, so you're like they're giving people the tools to play that army. Still, basically
in elves,
right?
Yeah,
similar to a lot of the other stuff they got.
But can you get the tree herder stuff in elves? Right?
You get forest shamblers.
Yeah, so you get the stuff that would be prototypical wood elf.
Yeah,
right.
You can't take the Willfather anymore.
Can't, which is okay.
Yeah,
even though the Willfather is pretty fun now, I think.
Yeah,
he's expensive, but he gives you some options. Being able to change forest shamblers to melee 3 and have defense 4.
Did you say Malay?
Melee. Okay. What do you call it? Melee? Okay, you're a Jeremy disciple. That's what Jeremy said. Melee.
Malay. I've never. Malay.
Okay,
carry on.
Melee. I'm from the south now, so I just everything just slow everything down. But I think that's interesting because there are a bunch of other kindreds that really haven't been flushed out.
I mean, it's a little bit like the halflings and the edge contingent. Like that's a totally different geographic area of halflings, I think.
Yep.
And they're tied up with some sort of elf group. I don't read the novels.
That's fair. You know what? I'm working my way through. I must say, and I am enjoying him. I've enjoyed. I have to keep reading.
Well, what books have you been reading? The novels too?
Yeah. So was it Steps to Deliverance, the one that has?
Yeah. So Martin Barber. That's Basilan.
That's the first one out of the 4 that's all connected together. Yeah. I got that one. I'm probably about halfway through it. But me being a sci-fi guy, of course, I've read some more Dead Zone ones.
Sure. There's far fewer of those, though.
Yeah, there are.
So luckily, you'll run out of those, and you'll have plenty of Season War books to pick up.
But yeah, my wife actually picked up one. She started. She has 1 or 2 that she's reading, but eventually I'll get through all of them. But yeah, I do enjoy him. Like the character that they introduced in the Abyss is a really cool character.
Tanain or Tyen, Tey, whatever it is. It's another flying character which they don't have enough of.
Well, and
you never have enough flying characters.
I really like that character in that book. I was really excited to see that. And then
and the model's great. The new model's great.
Yeah. And we were flipping through the Basilean book on the trip, and I went, Orion
and Estelle.
Estelle is in there.
Yeah, I mean that's why they brought him into the army list because they're
wonderful.
And Nias has made appearances over the years as well.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm okay with Elf Space Marines, and here playing Age of Sigmar at one point in time for a little bit.
Were you a Sigmarine? Or you?
No, Henry was, but more importantly, every single faction pad, if you paint it this way, you get that represents this specific grouping, house, whatever, and then you got cool powers.
Right.
There is something really, really neat about that, and I would love to see Mantic lean more into that, and seeing the heraldries on those Basilians and Fracture, and there was some stuff in Forces of Nature, I think, too, or no, I guess it was just a heraldry in the Basilian so far, but just seeing some of that, I'm like, oh man, it'd be cool if you say, I am part of this army, and for 50 points, I now have all my generals have this ability or this power or something like. I'm okay with all of that. That's
harder to balance, but I think it makes more flavor.
It makes more flavor, and then now you're going, well, what is this? Well, this is the Order of the Green Lady chapter.
Yeah.
You know.
You guys have any armies you were hoping to do at some point once you're inspired by a new army list or new set of models?
I have more printed and unpainted models than I will probably get to.
So is that like one of those things where if you actually painted them all, then you're going to die or something? I don't know. It's like it's just like maybe one of those things where you're just like I can't possibly. But you got to print, right? You got to print.
Yeah,
it's always going to be running.
I feel sad.
Yeah, you're like, I have this thing.
Mental health is directly tied to the.
It's going into a store and going, it's on sale, but I don't need it, and I would feel bad if I didn't. I'm leaving money on the table because I didn't buy this sale item.
So it just keeps growing.
You just need to expand your friend network so that you can be the dealer. Because there's always like that. There's always that
one
dealer,
guy,
the guy that's like, I'm going to provide.
You're the guy, man.
You buy me resin and stuff, and I will provide.
So Jeff Schildkin had some of the Wisconsin guys come over on June 20th for like a prep day, and a new perspective came, and he is interested, and so the call went out. He's thinking about playing Undead. Who can supply him? And like 7 people in the Twin Cities chat jumped, and they were like, "Oh no, we can get him Undead." So you can't even be the dealer because there's so many people ready to deal to the new players.
That's because the community's so freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I got to find somebody I can hand off print projects to. The other strategy is to do large terrain projects, like
those are great.
Yeah, I'm doing
and do some really evocative stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing
outrageous
Helwick, which is this guide. It's a multi-tiered fantasy city, so it'd be good for like Mordheim or Vanguard, whatever Vanguard ends up being.
Are you a fan of Vanguard, by the way?
I played it and it was way too crunchy.
It is not like a normal Mantic game.
Yeah.
Also, the balance. The scenarios are very easy to exploit. And I know they've made new versions, but it's just like, and then they added a bunch of extra factions because they wanted to have diversity of army lists, but then those weren't play tested. So at some point we'll get Vanguard again, I think,
Oh, probably.
Yeah. I think I get all my news from you, but
be careful. I would say it's like 95% right. There's some stuff that,
Rob knows.
They might be like leaking stuff intentionally to
see what people's reaction.
Exactly. Well, that's a bad idea. We floated that rumor. We don't need to mess with that.
I would like them to do another skirmish game. I would want it to be clean, like Kings is. And I haven't gotten a chance to play Firefight yet, but
have you played any of their sci-fi stuff like Dead Zone or Halo?
I have Halo.
Yeah.
I have not actually played it. I've read
I mean, Dead Zone's also, I'm speaking to the choir here. I'll let you talk about Dead Zone. I mean, if you had to ask Rob what is their best mechanical game, it's Dead Zone.
Yep.
It's like the cleanest game. I mean, it makes Kill Team look silly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. If you have Halo, you're basically playing Dead Zone with respawns and 4 guys. Although guys,
it's a reskinning, right? And they did a good job of taking some stuff away to make it feel like Halo. The thing about Halo, my original criticism with that was it's basically replicating the video game experience, the deathmatch and stuff, and that's fine. But and I poked the bear today, and he gave me the expression that there's something there that at some point the obvious next progression is let's play Halo on the table. So let's have warthogs and all that stuff and have an actual army scale game, maybe using firefight rules. I don't know.
Sure, that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm also okay with, like, they just started big table games in Halo, right? They have the double mats side by side.
Yeah.
Let's say a warthog takes up 6 inches by 3 inches. I'm okay with that. They have some vehicles in Dead Zone too.
Yep.
They don't take up to double the space, but at
a lot more bikes and stuff.
Yeah, yep. But they have lots of little monobikes. They have
tanks and planes and stuff, right? That you theoretically could play. in Dead Zone?
No, they got big monsters.
Okay.
So like the terrors that are in Kings of War, the Terror Night Stalkers and the Kraken.
Yeah.
They have a Goliath, which is basically the same model, and it still fits inside that 3x3 square. So you have things like that. So the limitation is 3 inches, right? So go ahead and do a Warthog. It's kind of like a mule in Firefight. You can go ahead and probably do that, and maybe it'll fit in a 6-inch square, and you can only move 2 inches or 2 squares at a time, or something like that. Or you have to make sure that you got a good clear path. The problem is that there is terrain running around as part of that, and that's fine though. You could probably get away with it, even with the current Halo rules, if you're willing to do double space models in some way, shape, or form.
Or quadruple, if you get a Wraith or a Banshee.
Yeah.
Well, at that point they're flying, right?
Well, the Wraith is
that's right.
the tank. The Wraith is the Covenant tank it floats, but it's not flying.
Well, and think about this. When you're playing Halo, right, you're not playing a mass battle unless you're playing Halo Wars. There are some cool scenes of mass battles, but for the most part, it's you, maybe two or three Marines, and you're going up against some forces. And when you do see the tanks, there's a thing to possibly take over. That's an objective at the end of the board at that point. And it's shooting at you the entire time. I go ahead and take my tank, I put it at the edge of the board. We're going to be shooting you. There's too much terrain and buildings for me to come in. But boy, oh boy, if I get a shot off, go ahead and put it on the edge of the board. And yes, if I can somehow get over to that last square on the board, I'm going to make a roll to take it. I'm okay with that too, because the small vehicles can go through the streets. You can totally get away with that.
I don't want to rehash conversations that are already going to be on this episode, but did Kyle indicate that if they went to a past big team battle, which is the 2 match, would they go to like 4 mats, 4x4? They move to measuring with.
He just gave me the look like, that's a good idea. Actually, he may have said that. That's a good idea when I asked him about mass combat.
Every single time.
Well, there's the man right there, right?
You basically say, wouldn't that be cool?
Well, that's his line. That's Kyle's line every time is, wouldn't that be that's cool? A neat idea. Wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that be cool? I'm okay with that.
And then he just looks at you, and then, maybe 8 out of 10 times it comes to fruition.
8 out of 10. Look, you got good odds. What dice are you rolling?
I don't know. Well, he's got some inside knowledge, right? So, what else about the weekend? We're done, and it's kind of we're looking back. What was some of the observations from the weekend?
I think everything went off logistically without much of a hitch. For me, it's a great location. It's relatively good location. I know they chose.
It's a great location for everybody,
yeah,
regardless of where they're traveling from. Because if you're driving, not a big deal. Well, obviously the West Coast, Pacific Northwest, or coming from Florida, you sort of have to fly.
Yeah.
But if you are flying, we're really close to the airport. It's a lot of direct flights because obviously Minneapolis is a Delta hub. And then they've already accomplished something that some other ones didn't have, which is outside of Dallas. We had one in Dallas. That's also very close to the airport. But you're very close here. And so the hotel picked everybody up at the airport and brought them and then set it up to come here.
Yeah.
It was a win-win-win. From a logistics standpoint, it's been the best.
Jason and Kyle and Connor did a great job. They do a great job. Jason does a great job.
100%.
All the cooks did a great job.
Yeah, everybody that helped the food was very good.
Yeah. Kyle and Connor do a great Renegade. So between the 3 of them, I expected nothing less. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. I know you guys were probably on multiple times, but nobody will get tired of hearing your voices.
We don't get tired of hearing yours either.
Well, my wife does.
And you are listening to Countercharge.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Countercharge. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at counterchargepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at countercharge15, or by commenting on the Countercharge Kings of War podcast Facebook group. If you enjoy the show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Until next time, keep countercharging. Music is a composition of Kevin MacLeod and is licensed under Creative Commons.
I'm Aaron Richardson, repping the St. Louis area at Mantic Meetup STL, and you are listening to Countercharge.
You missed your calling as a radio DJ or something.
Is that what I did?
That was good.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That was good.